My friends, something has changed with the Super Bowl halftime shows. I first noticed it with Justin Timberlake 7 years ago. Now, I'm a fan of Justin Timberlake. Find me somebody that has a better band than JT, right? But it was very clear that this was meant for TV. This was in the middle of a sold-out stadium, but you couldn't see the fans. You couldn't see the stadium. It was very clear that it was like a music video. I remember when The Weeknd came out, I was like, wow, this is just a single cam following this artist through this this maze on stage. And I was asking myself, could anybody in the crowd see what's going on? But at least we're both beautiful and stay forever. This I know, yeah, God I know. But it just occurred to me that the Super Bowl has always been this place for stadium anthems, for the biggest sing-alongs in the world. And there was this trend towards making it all about for TV. Another great example of this is when Snoop and Dr. Dre came out, and they had this set designed where it was very clear that you could only see what was going on in the actual performance by looking through the camera screen. Just a swing in my hair, trick, quit talking, quit walk if you down with the sick. Take a bullet for some and take this dope on this jet. Out of town, put it down for the father of rap. And if you happen to get cracked, shut your trap. Now, I love this music, right? And these are huge artists, huge songs, but it just makes me think like everyone on the other side of the stage or the stadium can't see what's happening. And even if you're in the stadium there, you'd have to look through binoculars to see each of the individual sets in this house that they built in the middle of the field. What this made me think of is David Byrne. If you don't know David Byrne, he's the founder of the Talking Heads, and he wrote this incredible book called How Music Works or Why Music Works. I forget the title, but he's got a TED Talk in it, and he talks about one of the chapters where the venue really dictates what music works in that venue. Jazz clubs, small, because you have to hear every intricate note, every little piece, right? It's very intricate. And then you have bands like AC/DC where it's sparse. There's lots of space, long held out sing-along vocals, because that's what you're going to hear in the rafters. And so that's always been what kind of the Super Bowl, when I think of the biggest stage in the world, I think, how are we going to make this unifying moment for the people there? And then you have the camera capture it. Not the opposite, which seems to be the trend we're on now, which is we're making it for the camera, and the people there in the audience are kind of an afterthought. Listen to David Byrne talk about this.
Live performance, when it was incredibly successful, ended up in what is probably acoustically the worst sounding venues on the planet. Sports stadiums, basketball arenas, and hockey arenas. Musicians who ended up there did the best they could. They wrote what is now called arena rock, which is medium speed ballads. They did the best they could, given that this is what they're writing for. The tempos are medium. It sounds big. It's more a social situation than a musical situation. And in some ways, the music that they're writing for this place works perfectly.
This concept fascinates me. And when I was watching the recent Super Bowl performance with Kendrick Lamar, who, by the way, I'm a huge fan. Again, if you've been a fan of this channel for a while, you've seen me review some of his live performances. And talk about bringing a great band. I mean, right up there with Timberlake's band. I'm a huge fan of Kendrick. But the problem is that you're taking this music, which is extremely intricate. It's spoken so fast. And unless you already know the message, you don't get the message. So he comes out and he's sitting on this car, and listen to the speed at which the words come out. If you don't already know the song, right? You certainly don't understand what he's talking about. The message is lost on you. But two, you can't sing along. The whole purpose of a unifying performance in a stadium of 100,000 people is lost in this medium because it's absolutely for TV. Think about it. Think about just the speed and the amount of detail that he's speaking. And imagine yourself in the rafters, in the top. Imagine yourself trying to understand what he's saying there. Forget about at home or at YouTube with the cans on.
Olympians too, carrying various darts right now. I deserve this, like tiramisu. We go body for body, I hand you a body. I'm probably a better masseuse. Really don't bother nobody what they running by me. If I got to create out the room, you would not get the picture if I had to sit you for hours in front of the Louvre. When I have a soul, even if I had told you to stand next to Johnny and Q.
You see how it's just lost? This isn't a disrespect or a slam on Kendrick or any artist that have that, whether it's words or whether it's notes, whether it's busy drums, whether it's this huge arrangement. The point is what works the best in the biggest environments that unify the most people are big, huge, simple, iconic sing-alongs, anthems. And so I feel like all of this recent discussion on how the Super Bowl halftime show has kind of lost its way, and I don't feel that way, but I feel like it's important for me to make this video from the perspective of a musician who thinks about the music and the venue being tied together. And the perfect example is Prince, In the Rain, Purple Rain, getting everybody to sing these high falsettos and having the camera capture that unity. That is the highest and best use of stadiums for music, in my opinion. Watch it. And you see how you see the fans? The fans are in the shot. It's the biggest stage in the world, and it is just my opinion that what has changed over the years is that the performance of the halftime show has transformed from the camera capturing what happens and that can only happen there to the show being about what's on camera for everyone at home, with all of these stages that you can't see the other side. They're filming behind and you don't even see the artist. It's such intricate music that no one there could possibly sing along. And I think that you're doing a disservice to the musicians in that environment because their message doesn't come across. And it should. That's it. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. I feel like it might be controversial, but I also feel like it's pretty obvious. When you get 1 million people, 100 million people, whether it's in the stadium or at home, get them singing along. Get them to feel like they're there. Get them to feel like they're a part of something. That's my 2 cents. Thanks for watching. If you dig the vibe, please hit subscribe. I'll see you soon. Cheers.